welcome everybody to MogTalk episode, what is it, 211 now? MogTalk 211 on December 5th, 2020. If you're unfamiliar with MogTalk, it's a show based around the Final Fantasy XIV community discussing everything from Chocobo Racing to Savage Raiding. That being said, I want to go ahead and introduce our guest. Before we get too far into it, we are talking about the World Race today, so we're bringing on people who are familiar, or at least within the world of the World Race. I'm going to start with Balana. Can you introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are?
Hello, I'm Balana. I'm a guy who plays the game. At least I used to. I'm going to be helping out with the World Stream and be commentating on the World Race on the 48-hour broadcast that Frosty has been putting together. He's been busting his ass on it, and I'm glad I get to be a part of it this time.
Yeah, I'm happy you're there too, because otherwise I would be fucked. All right, Sfia, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm Sfia. I am a world progression racer mainly. I would love to be taking part in the event. However, my team doesn't stream. But I've been trying to help Frosty behind the scenes get all this set up. So really excited for it.
Yeah, definitely helping a good bit. And yeah, I wanted to get somebody with a secret point of view, the unstreamed point of view, and that's what you're bringing on today. Yeah. And then we have Oryza.
Hey guys. Yeah, my team will be hardcore rating. Will be part of the event as one of the stream teams.
Yeah. You're going to be part of the event, and you're going to win the World Race on stream and make Sfia and his team feel bad.
You said that, not me.
Oh, okay. Got you. So yeah, these we're all wonderful people, rating and working with the event together. And so I figured before we have the event coming up on this Tuesday, we should go ahead and discuss a bit about what the event is and also kind of the raid that's coming up, our expectations and everything else. Before we go too much into it, I kind of just want to focus a little bit on what we can expect from Square Enix raid-wise coming out for this Savage. It's been a year. It's been about a year since we've had Savage, so they've had a lot of time to change their mind on things about difficulty and everything else. Are you guys excited for this tier, like as what Square Enix will put out? No?
I really wanted another 6 months of Shiva, to be completely honest with you.
Okay. I got you. I mean, 6 months, you know what? You're right. I feel like, I don't know why they did it so early. Why didn't they just release it at the year mark and just make it official and just say, now we're doing Savage every year?
I mean, you could have been doing Shiva Prague, gotten a girl pregnant, and then had a baby, and then still been farming Shiva by the end of that.
That is true. That's true. Jeez.
Yeah. We know that.
So... I guess I'll ask this here. Do you think that Square Enix, did they learn any lessons? If you would have to guess what lessons they learned from this last tier, what would those lessons be?
I don't know.
Critical
like
thought.
what lessons they really could have taken from it? I mean, I think Shiva was like a pretty good difficulty. Like Light Rampant's a really big kind of like door boss, basically. They haven't really been doing door bosses, so they really front loaded mechanics on that one there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they really want to lay into that more and keep doing it, or if they are gonna let off the gas a little bit from that.
So when you say what can we take away from it, do you mean us as players or
Square Enix developing? So what we can expect from the next raid from things that they thought they might have learned. I mean, we're all just guessing here because we were not in Square Enix's head, but
I mean, what they would have learned from it is probably that the general, I think, opinion of Shiva is that it was almost a really incredible fight. It's like obviously has its highs and lows, but it's like it's just missing something. So I think that I really commend them for the fact that they're actually trying new things in terms of the format of Savage fights, because this is the first time I've seen a fight like this in a really, really long time, which has been kind of innovative in its pacing and its mechanics and level of punishment as well. So I like that they're doing that, but in terms of what they can take away from it themselves is like, I think the number of mechanics is a good thing. They'll probably take that away. However, the cutscene, not so good. And I mean, they had the exact same feedback in E1S as well, so I'm surprised it was in E8. Apart from that, I think the biggest takeaway from this tier is that people really don't like the third fight to just fall over.
Yeah.
That's the big one for me too. The second and third fight, I think people complain about both of them a lot.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna Well, I mean, they're like already on record that saying that the second fight's going to be like the same as usual. So, but like the third one they said is going to be like harder, more like I guess the comparison people like to make is like O11S, where that third fight was like pretty significantly harder than most of the others. Like we'll see. Like anytime Yoshi P says something about difficulty, it's pretty meaningless. But I mean, it seems like that's their intent. So
Okay.
The quote I like to throw around is somewhere between second and final coil. I think he was talking
Never
about
going to be
Gorgias,
let
so.
down. That's always going to be there forever. Never going to be let go.
But I think they got really gun shy about the third fight after Living Liquid like nearly killed the game. So
Yeah. I don't know how they're handling developers. I think that was actually in an article somewhere, and I might have not read that yet. But do you guys know how
Yes.
they're doing it?
So they haven't said anything about the developers of the upcoming tier. They have talked about the ones that just did the most recent one, though. And it was essentially a whole bunch of newbies to Savage Raid encounter design.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people who have done like a couple of Savage fights, or they've done like 24-mans, or they were like fresh this expansion to the combat team. So overall, it's pretty good considering they're like mostly newbies.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I do want to hit back a little bit on the question of the cutscene. So my thought is that they implemented the cutscene to give everybody a break every time that they went in for a clear. They're like, all right, give everyone, this is a longer fight. Let's give everyone a minute to kind of calm down. I'm guessing you don't believe at all it achieved that effect. It was just annoying for everyone.
well, you can make the cutscene like Titans, where you actually have control of your character, and that's nice.
Okay.
And it's not a minute long.
Yeah, it's also not as long.
I think I saw a patent diagram that Ori that you guys have been using that would be some good technology they could implement where you get to say what McDonald's to skip
Yeah,
the
take
cutscene?
McDonald's, skip the cutscene.
Man. So, did the McDonald's thing for your group come with style, or is that something that you guys have been pretty solid on before that introduction?
It was just like a joke that came up a few weeks ago. Oh, like I guess Stahl really likes McDonald's, but like
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
and that joke came up like separately. The
Okay.
skip commercial joke.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that Lemon would have dug up.
That was it was him.
That's okay. McDonald's is not sponsoring us or you at all, but they'll get their extra free advertising this tier. It's okay.
I'll email them.
Yeah,
change
email
that.
for a check. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those things. I don't expect us to see it. I think you're right about Titan having that kind of movement there, and it really wasn't too long. But the minute seemed almost intentional because it is related around the cooldowns and everything else is what I assumed. Is that they always want you to come up to that part of the fight with all your cooldowns ready to go.
Yeah, every time recently they've done a cutscene, it's been like a 55-second down for the count, which is specifically to allow for things like precasted hoots on and for any 1 minute CDs to come back up. Like it's intentional in the duration, but it really doesn't need to be that way.
I don't think it does either, honestly, just because that's part of the puzzle is figuring out a rotation and when you should use abilities, and if you for some reason don't want to use the ability because it won't be back up at the very beginning of the next part when you come back from it, I figure that's just part of the fun. But I'm crazy, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like they didn't want to do the checkpoints anymore, but they still wanted to have a beginning and end of the fight, so they just decided to throw a massive cutscene in the middle of it instead.
Do you think that we should have checkpoints going into this tier? You think they should backtrack on that?
Only if the fights are longer.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind it like a door boss fight, but I don't want it to be like expected every single final turn. Going into it knowing exactly the format of the fight you're getting is kind of like the whole fun of Final Fantasy Blind Prague is that you don't know what's happening every time you walk in there. Like it's a brand new fight. There's no, testing realm or anything like that. They don't showcase anything. People don't get sneak peeks. It's literally just you go in there and everything is new. So any like expectations that you can already go into that are going to be correct, kind of just like lower that quality a little bit.
Okay. They better have. And I can assume there's no way that they're going to get around it. they're gonna have some sort of like advanced form in Savage for the last fight, and it's gonna come in and surprise us. Not surprise us. I don't know. Are you guys surprised? Do you feel like it's not gonna be Ulta Mesa or whatever? It's not gonna be.
It is like in my mind 125% confirmed Ultimecia. It's going to be some hybrid fusion of Ultimecia and Gaia, because the only thing they've said is that it's a unique design, not a unique boss, not a unique character, just a unique design.
Yeah. Okay. Now we can see. Go ahead.
So are you in the camp of Ultimacy as the third fight, or do you think you're going to pull some wild card for the third one?
It's going to be, and I've talked about this on stream, but it's going to be Ultimecia with Gaia junction to her, the same way that Adele has Renoa junction to her in the Lunatic Pandora.
What?
Yeah,
Final Fantasy VIII
exactly.
stuff.
Okay. It's all it's referencing to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, what's the third fight? It's just a big mystery for you. You don't know.
Do Eden Prime again? I'm ready.
It's my biggest guess. It's the speculation.
Do you think that's the mirror room we saw in the trailer with all the copies of the bosses, the third arena?
The name of the fight is Anamorphosis. Anamorphosis, which is like a distortion through crystal. So that's what I think it is.
Okay.
I just thought Animorphs were like a book series. You know, like the girl becoming a tiger.
Yeah.
An Anamorph. This is
An Anamorph?
There's an extra syllable in there somewhere, and it makes it a strange word. But it's, you know, those like diagrams you get on a piece of paper, and then you stick like a circle glass thing in the middle, and all of a sudden you see the image correctly in the glass. That's essentially what the name of this thing is.
Okay.
So it's about changing the perspective of like a scattered image and then like collecting it through like a prism or crystal or something like that.
I feel stupid right now. I had no clue about that at all. I feel like
I've thought
why don't
way too much about this here already. So
okay.
I'm probably talking up my ass, to be completely honest.
Is that the name of the whole tier, or is that like just one of the book names?
That's the third fight. That's the name of the third fight.
Yeah. Did you say is that one of the book names?
Well, 'cause that's where we have the names of all the turns from it.
I guess you're right. The books
in the patch notes, it's like, okay, you need 6 of this book, so the Eden's Book of Animorphs or whatever.
Oh, jeez. So, I mean, we are going to be fighting Gaia in some way, some form, right?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, I think it's a given.
So, good thing we have a lot of Gaia art for the event that we've been putting together. You know, that would suck so bad if she's, like, not even remotely involved. She's just, like, off to the side the entire time, and we're just like, okay.
We've already seen in the trailer that she's deeply involved in the lore. Not that you're probably going to see much of that in, like, when you're watching the race, because nobody's going to be watching cutscenes if they're, like, trying to go fast.
You're right.
But I'm sure in downtime, when pulls are getting long and new mechanics aren't really being seen, they can probably be brought up.
You know what's funny? The one thing about the World Race stream is that we can always say it's pretty much spoiler free.
Yeah. All you'll see is the bosses and no context.
No context, just some images.
All right, when I got some downtime, I'm gonna go in there on story mode. I'm gonna watch all the cutscenes on day 1 for once.
Nice.
It's gonna be a new experience for me.
When you do that, I want you to DM Cleese and give him the breakdown.
So he could break down all the lore.
Get the deep lore.
Yeah,
the lore of the mechanics. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Okay. Do you have any expectations? So we know 2 of the fights for sure. Is it Fenrir or is it just a dog?
I've figured this one out. I'm pretty sure. Do you guys know?
I don't.
I think I do. Someone who knew the story had to explain it to me because I don't read the story.
All right. So in the role quests, there is this elf who uses the Deep Shadow Paladin sword, and the only other time we ever see that is this dog pulling it out. Another reason that I think it's this person is because they're in Lakeland, which is like where they had a rebellion, as well as all the elves that were there. A bunch of them got turned into werewolves at some point in time. So it's probably going to be called Silver or Shadowkeeper, and it's probably going to be taking part in terms of the timeline, either in the past or like in compressed time.
That's like the same conclusion we came to.
Wow.
She's also from the 13th or something, and like so is Cloud of Darkness or something like that. So some tie there.
The person that we're talking about is currently on the the first as well. They've like
Right.
they've given up the way of the sword or whatever, and they're just chilling out in Crystarium now, pretty weak.
Serving
So that's why I
drinks,
don't think it's going to be them. Yeah.
I actually just finally did the physical role quest and did that that capstone quest this morning, so it's a little fresh
Oh,
in my
yeah?
mind right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that is the same sword now that I think about it. But they're also wearing the Deep Shadow gear from beginning
Yes.
of the
Yeah. I trust
so.
me and Miu went and looked through every single weapon in the game. We were like, I've seen this before, and we went through every single weapon model.
Oh my god, that's like, I'm thinking about what are world racers doing before the race. Oh, they're looking at the trailer, taking the image, clipping, and going through every single sword animation just to see if like there's any chance that anything's related in any way.
It's actually surprising how much the lore can come up sometimes, like in the fights, like how it's implemented. Like like in Thornton, there was like an Imdigood charge where you had to like line up, and there's like when the guy was throwing the spear that killed Harshenfont.
Oh, spoiler.
Yeah.
I'm reading the Realm Reborn story right now. I'm like not there yet.
Are you going through on the New Game Plus?
No.
Jeez. All right, so you think it's kind of also a semi-throw towards Dark Souls as well, because they're throwing in the armor that's kind of like Dark Souls or something, and it's all just kind of like a mini reference.
They're definitely very inspired this patch by a certain dark something.
Yeah, Soul
I don't know
something.
how it's going to tie in, or if it's literally just like a little bit of a, hand wave towards it. I don't know. I feel like it's either leading towards something in terms of the story, because then there's also like these void quests that are coming up, which are all new. So I'm just like really confused. But I think it really feels like it's just a little like nice little gesture or reference towards it. But we'll see.
Okay. I mean, it'd be cool to see them work together and have that crossover, because I would love to see Final Fantasy stuff in Demon Souls. But
We were saying last show, get that red comet going on.
Yeah, the red comet and Demon Souls. Yeah, that would be awesome. All right, so the other one is, I think, like the very the kindest way to say a naked lady that looks like Cloud of Darkness. Is this the next one, right? And that's the one they used in the one that's very
first boss?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it the first one or is it the second one? I keep.
It's the first one. The second one is the dog. So the first one is literally a direct rip from the Dissidia version of Cloud of Darkness. In the same way that they directly ripped the Dissidia version of Kefka for 08.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Done it again.
So with Cloud of Darkness, did you guys do any investigation into the Alliance raid and see how maybe that could play in a part here with some of the mechanics or something?
Yo, so I looked up the mechanics of Cloud of Darkness because like I started playing in Heaven's Word, so I never did that shit. Like actually,
Okay.
there are these worm ads that spawn that give you bad breath if you stand next to them, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
But I looked up on Wikipedia, not Wikipedia, but like some game wiki. They're like, yeah, here are the mechanics of World of Darkness, and I just like skimmed over them, and I was like, okay, well that doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to it in the fight, because she does like the beam. She'll jump around, do the beam through the middle again, which we kind of got in Next Death, and then she tries to inhale the smoke clouds, and if you stand in them, it slows them down.
And there's the bubbles, right? So yeah, every team had to go into like a protective shell and kill something really quick. That's what I remember.
That's about all that fight really had going on for it.
Okay, all right.
But I think they're taking heavy inspiration from Fall Guys with the Super Hexagon.
Did you see Souls' tweet about that?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Good.
Post it in Twitch chat. Yeah. As long as you're moderated. I don't know if you're moderated or not.
I am.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, do we think that it's going to be as difficult? Well, I mean, I say as difficult, but Ramuh was actually pretty difficult when it came out. Do you think it's going to be that same level, or are they going to tone it down a little bit?
I think Cloud's going to be a little easier. Ramuh was mostly difficult because it had a very high level of punishment, but it wasn't actually that hard. It's just like Fury's 14 could just kill you if one person fucked up. which doesn't usually happen in the first fight. So I wouldn't expect that level of punishment, but I would expect similar difficulty in terms of like what you actually have to do for the mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw Yoshida do a poll, and there was like the squares are lighting up that he was standing on. I mean, there could be some like personal responsibility there, where like if you stand on one too long, it like falls down, and if somebody's messing up, they could like drop unfortunate panels out.
Because it's kind of crazy to have all people have to be alive and perform mechanic accurately not to wipe kind of situation in the very first fight. I feel like that was a little too harsh, but I mean, if you took that out, remove that would have been cleared a lot sooner, right?
Well,
Yep.
Furious 14 for like Prague was like not like the execution punishment bit, but like just figuring out like how it worked. I think we like only died to it one time, like for someone missing a pole, like once we figured it out. So I don't think changing that would have really affected like how fast it was cleared for like World Prague or whatever. It's more about like weekly reclears for pugs and shit like that.
Because
So
it died pretty.
it died in 2 hours and 19 minutes.
That is including normal modes.
Yeah, that's
It
including
was
normal.
like a lockout and a pole, I think.
Yeah, it's about a lockout, I would think. One lockout.
I think it was less than a lockout for us. We didn't have to rezone.
How long did it take you to get through normal?
I don't know. Was there a solo instance last time? I don't remember.
No.
It wasn't, was there? No. So probably like 4 7 to 8 minute fights.
Half an
However
hour.
long that is. Yeah, half an hour-ish.
I usually, the whole block, the first hour, servers come up and everything else, is just logging in and trying to deal with normal. And then after that first hour, you actually start getting the real prog.
Yeah, the hardest boss is the login boss.
Yeah.
He's trying to get 8 of 8 online.
Yeah.
We had someone got kicked out like while we were doing the quests, and we had to wait like for them to requeue back in. So it took us like a little longer than that. But if you don't have anyone kicked out, I would say it takes probably like a little over half an hour, probably.
They've kind of, honestly, it's been so long, you wonder how many things does Square Enix forget? Like, did they forget the login issues of some of the other fights where you had to talk to an NPC to like get past it and have like those Rob-on bosses in some way?
I don't think that's ever going to happen again. That was like traumatizing for them. That's like, yeah.
Yeah.
They literally split servers and all this stuff specifically for that. They made so many like server-side changes that that'll never be a problem again. Login queues will always be a thing. It's like the secret actual 5th raid boss every tier. But no, I wouldn't ever expect like a Rub 1 2.0.
Okay.
It's a thing of the past.
So
I hope.
hope. So I want to be a little bit going back in history a little bit here with Eden's verse and looking at, it was 2 hours and 19 minutes from server up. That's with normal and clearing first, the first turn. Then after that, and we're talking about your group, Sfia, cleared 1 hour and 45 minutes, it looks like, for the second fight. So that would be a lockout in a pool, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More or less.
And then after that, we're looking at almost 4 hours, just a little bit under 4 hours on the third fight.
4 hours total or 4 hours,
4 hours.
from server up time?
No, total. To the third, clear the third fight. It took 4 hours to clear third fight. Maybe?
From after beating the second.
Yeah, after
I
beating
remember.
the second. After beating the second, yep.
Was that long? I guess
Yeah.
it was a longer fight.
Yeah,
And the portals are actually kind of, when you don't know the patterns and all the rules and restrictions that are on them, you're like, you have to build strats and plan your thinking around them always being random. So you just, like, it makes it a harder fight to progress.
Yeah.
yeah, we were freaking out at first when we saw those. We're like, oh no, what are we gonna do? We like set up markers, so it was like battleships. So you'd be like, okay, everybody go A3. But once that got solved, it was pretty quick. But then there's also that kind of gotcha at the end when like the tornado phase, where you had to figure out like where each person had to go, to soak the balls and whatnot.
We were a little fortunate in that fight as well, because you know how when there's the portals with the black and white birds, when we did that, and sometimes you have to swap, sometimes you have to stay, every single time we got swapped. So we never knew that there was a stay option. So we got like, I think 3 pulls past there, and all of them were just the same thing, and we killed it. It wasn't until we watched streams, we're like, wait, why are these people staying on the same square?
That's pretty lucky, dude. All right, so that was all within the first 8 hours, and then after that was just pure E12S, or not E12, E8S, and that. How long did it take you before you realized you needed to go to sleep?
Too long. We thought we were killing it day one.
Okay, yeah. I think most people thought that. I was hoping that. You know what, Sfia, if you somehow your team clears it day one this time, I'll be really happy. Not to talk about what your team's doing behind everything and everything else, but
I would be happy if we do as well, because that means we're playing well. But
yeah,
I get the feeling this is going to be another 2, potentially 3-day tier that's coming up. If they increase the difficulty of the third boss, then we may see like end of day 2, day 3.
All they need to do to increase the difficulty of third boss is make the orb mechanic not breakable. I mean, that's really it. I think they were just talking about after you guys cleared, the difficulty needed to go up. Because, I mean, you didn't know exactly. I mean, you had a format, but was it the brain dead strategy clearing the third turn, right?
No. The way that we went through the third turn previously was assume everything is random. Which obviously isn't the case and makes progging it with that knowledge in mind a lot easier. The way to make the third fight harder is to add more mechanics, more punishing mechanics, and a tighter DPS check. All those things were missing. There was very few actual mechanics in that fight. It was like, learn how the birds work, learn how the portals work. We already know how light and dark works. And then the tornado phase. And then like a really simple add phase. There's really not much else other than that, except for like the little teleporty, which is a pull.
Well, for good players. So let's see. I want to do this too, and just to let you know, after that, it was not trying to bring back bad memories, but it looks like it was 28 hours. 28 hours on. That's including sleep. 28 hours before you got the next clear on the last one. That's crazy. That's more than all the other fights completely combined. Everything else.
Like double all the other fights combined. And
triple,
then some, I think.
Triple.
Yeah.
It's more than triple. So I'm hoping that's not the case.
It's kind of how Final Fantasy Prague has been lately. It's like you've got 3 fights where anyone can kind of win, and then you've got like an actual fight. Is how it kind of feels. The first one, especially the first fight, is like who logs in first and then gets, one shots the mechanic. Like you can make guesses or assumptions at things, and then sometimes, we figured out this mechanic so we can see the next one. And all of a sudden you're like a pull ahead of everyone, and then you'll win that turn by a pull.
Right.
Whereas as you get further in and mechanics get harder and prog times get longer, that's where teams start pulling apart.
Yeah.
But you don't really see such a huge divide until you get to the last floor, because there's just so much more in it.
Yeah.
And the difficulty ramp was astronomical. I don't think when was the last time we've seen something that was that stark in its like difficulty difference?
Besides going from nothing to ultimate, I can't think of anything else.
I mean, Gordius, Midas to a lesser extent. Yeah, 2 to 3 in Gordius was like a huge step up. Like,
that is true. Yeah, 3 was just having fun, or 2 was just having fun, and 3 was like, here's a real fucking fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 and 2 in Gordius were just kind of like throwaway fights, kind of like they always are now.
Yeah.
But it was such an even more like stark contrast going to 3.
All right. Well, we'll see how that works out. And I mean, you want me to tell you your hours too, Oryza? Are you curious about those hours?
I don't want. I know the first 3, and I don't want to know the 4th one.
Okay. We'll hold off on that. But yeah, no, it was being there for like the last event we did. We were all like, Oryza, you guys got it. You guys got it. And then eventually you guys went to sleep, and we're like, oh well, we got it.
I'm like day 1 or day 2.
I can't remember. I think it might have been a little bit on day 2. I was like out of it a lot, but day 1 for sure. Like we were watching it, and it was just so crazy to see like this huge wall come out of nowhere. None of the commentators were really expecting to have to commentate on that fight for as long as we did. So we'll see how it works out this time. So that's the fights. That's talking about the fights. It's been so long since we've done World Prague, and I've personally, have collected a whole bunch of team names and everything else, so I have an idea of people who are telling me that they're rating. But do you guys know of any other teams out there that might be rating that are worth interest to know about, or is it always just the secret JP teams that we'll never know about?
I mean, we know Psylink's out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if they've signed up or anything like that, but you should probably have their
You know what?
Twitters.
Maybe they did.
But I mean, like, you should have their Twitters. If not, I can link them to you.
Yeah.
And they're really good. There are a whole bunch of the old, like, what were core JP teams, like One Ace and stuff, have sort of fractured a little bit, and a bunch of those people are all making their own teams. The team who got second last time, I don't know if they're competing this time. So I mean, you always have to just fear the random JP team which comes out of nowhere and just is full of absolute gods.
Yeah.
Grass JP.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, I don't have
There are
Psylink on here, so
You don't? Yeah.
yeah, they didn't submit anything.
There's a Tomberry group that's pretty good as well, as far as I know.
The Keen group.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a strong group.
Yeah. And then JP groups. There's also EDH. They've done pretty well in the past. And One Ace, of course, yeah. And then there's the really long, crazy name, Ago Higakaza Kudan, who's been in
I'm
there a few
gonna
times.
look forward to hearing you pronounce that over and over and over again.
Maybe I won't have to. I don't know. I don't know if they're streaming. From the EU side, we have Little Entertainment. I think that they've been around for a while.
Who?
Little Entertainment. They're around at least for the last one. They're from Blackjack, FC Blackjack. There's a couple of these teams here that you may or may not know. There's Stardust Raiders, which I think is the one that Fox is running in. And there is a handful of other ones. There's NA ones. There's Thoughts Per Second. They're running. There's No Hit. They're running. Say McDonald's to skip cutscene. And there's a whole list. It's crazy. There's too many for me to go over. I'm not going to announce all of them, but I'll put it in chat here if you guys want to take a look at the list. And by the way, when I look at any browser, my camera goes completely horrible, and I just go like stuttering. I don't know why. Logitech, please. But yeah.
Google Chrome.
And Google. It's not Google Chrome. I don't think it's Chrome that's doing it, but it's because I'm broadcasting directly to OBS and also to Discord at the same time with my camera. Maybe if I did it just one of them, it would be okay. But yeah, that's where you guys can see it. That's where also I will be keeping all the ranking this tier. I'm not going to use the Google spreadsheet anymore.
You got the fancy website now.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the spreadsheet's nice because you're just used to it. You're like, wow, this is simple. Everybody can look at it. You can see moving stuff around and everything. But once 100 people get in there, it just goes haywire for some people. It's not like horrible, but it's enough to look at it and be like, this looks like someone just threw some bullshit together and made it work, which is technically true. But hopefully the website will work a little bit better. And then I don't know anything about Entropy. I don't.
Can tell you that you'll probably recognize them as Entropy with a couple of changes, and they have a team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully they give me some information about their clears. And then I'll know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm sure they'll tweet it.
Man, those dudes, they waited. What tier was it? What tier was it? They didn't post any of their clears until the very last one.
It's a gate?
Was it the
Yeah, I
gate?
think it was on Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just kind of dark horsed it.
Yeah. Oh, is Zep actually running with them right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, and there's Last Impression. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool people, a lot of cool teams. I will say for the charity event, we have like 85 streams that we can use for showing off teams. So I'm hoping that we'll always have content on the event. There's a lot of really cool people who gave us permission to restream their streams. So,
Yeah, Frosty, what are we gonna do if there's like nobody streaming it at some point?
have fun talking, MogTalk until someone starts streaming, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what he'll be. I really don't know what else we can really do about that. But last time it worked out. We only had 6 teams, but somehow, like one
Yeah, that's
team at
great.
least stayed up. I think Haru's team actually went to sleep at a normal time. Like one ace went to sleep at a normal time, and then they woke up right when everybody was like giving up on trying to clear it day one. So definitely, they're awesome, and they're going to be around too. So hopefully, we'll have their point of view at the worst case scenario.
Yeah, because I guess the JP teams are not like just waking up when the servers go live, right? Do they mess up their schedules like we do, or
I'd
do they
imagine
like
the
go for a few
hardcore teams
hours? And...
would.
Hmm.
But I don't think One Ace was a competing team. Like they weren't aiming to place. They just
Technically, most teams aren't really competing in the sense of like the really world first
Well, I mean,
hardcore stuff. But yeah,
there's like various degrees to which you can be, competing. I think it's all up to the way that you've like defined the word race, and then it's just semantics.
Yeah.
But yeah. So essentially, they weren't going as hard as some other groups, and so they went to sleep early and then woke up. But I think that a group that is looking to compete and place would be probably doing essentially what I'm doing, because Japan's 4 hours behind me. So they would be waking up at like 7 p.m. for their server uptime.
So
It's not fun.
you're in the future, so you got an advantage on them. You'll get 4 hours more prog than
Yeah.
they will.
People thought we had a private server. It's actually me just in the future having solved mechanics already. Yeah, that's the secret.
Yeah.
Just get a Kiwi in your rank team.
Beautiful, man. Apparently you can cure COVID too, so we're good.
We did all right.
Yeah. Anyways. Going back to this, you're saying, Sfia, the race is going to take, you think maybe up to 3 days.
Yes.
Okay. Oryza, do you?
Sorry, carry on.
No, go ahead. I was just going to
There's
ask
a
him.
difficult third turn. That's been like, I think the biggest reason why tiers have died so fast recently is because there's only one fight. There's 3 like souped up extreme primals and then 1 savage fight. It's kind of how it feels in terms of progressing. Like obviously farming these things and like speed killing them is another matter. But when it comes to like what you have to learn and react to and actually adjust to, it's like there's 1. So if they add 2, if they make something actually slow you down, it has like a carryover effect, right? So the later you get in the day, the less efficient you're going to be. So the later you get to the final fight, what the hell is this Sfia private server shit?
I don't know.
The later you get in the day, the less efficient you'll be. So getting to that 4th fight like really late, or not even finishing the 3rd fight on the first day, like that already sets you back because now you don't have all that like that 4th fight experience to like sort of synthesize while you sleep.
That's true. Because technically, when you're done raiding, your mind doesn't stop, right? You're still like thinking. You're like showering. You're like, oh, what's that mechanic? Maybe we could try this. Maybe we can do that.
Virtually everyone I know has prog dreams. You're in the middle of the tier and like you'll go to sleep and you'll still be like, I'm in prog, and then you wake up not refreshed at all because you feel like you've still been playing the last 8 hours.
I mean, like sleep and dreaming is like where you process a lot of your memories, and if the last 16 hours of your memories are just slamming your head into a fight, like it's gonna show up in your dreams.
Okay. Oryza, do you suffer those issues?
My audio just cut out. I can't hear you guys.
Oh, okay. Do you suffer the issue of dreaming about prog after you do a full day? I'll let him figure it out. Oryza, when you got it figured out, let me know.
All right. I got you. It's fine now.
Oh, it's good? Okay. So do you have prog dreams after 16 hours of raiding? Do you go to sleep and you're thinking about prog and run into an issue where maybe you're even dreaming about it?
I had dreams before prog. Not during, I don't think. Like, so last year I had a dream before prog that like E6 like took place in like a gymnasium or something. That's all I remember about it.
It was at the school gym and you forgot to bring your clothes and
there's just like mats on the ground, I think. I don't remember anything else. It's been too long.
All right.
That's amazing. Yeah. Balana, what were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that the tier is gonna be over the second day at 3:58 Pacific time, and everybody can just go play Cyberpunk after that.
So that's what, 36 hours ish.
Yeah.
38 hours. No, 35 hours. 37. I can't do math.
I don't know.
I don't know. I was just going off the Cyberpunk release time.
It's like a day and a half. Right?
Yeah. It's I don't know when it releases differently all over the world. I think for Cyberpunk, doesn't it?
No,
does it?
it's global release on
Is it?
On PC. Yes.
Oh, on PC. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I got it on Steam, so hopefully that'll work out. That's supposed to be my Thursday day, so if you don't clear it by the end of day Wednesday, Sfia, I just don't give a shit anymore. It's just done.
What's your serious opinion on the longevity of the tier then, Balana?
On the longevity of like when it's actually going to kill,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They're saying, oh, the 3 is going to be a roadblock, but you can't trust anything they say about that. So, I'd be surprised if it went 3 days. I think it'll definitely be down by the end of the second.
Look at the trends that they've kind of established since Stormblood specifically, which is increasing difficulty across tiers. Like that much is obvious, right? Final Omega is much harder than God Kefka, which is much harder than Neo.
Mm-hmm.
The DPS checks are harder progressively. The mechanics are harder. The time to kill was always longer, and now we've just had a 2-day tier as the second tier.
But when was the last
And
time
the third fight is now going to be difficult.
When was the last time we had an actual like 3-day tier?
Midas.
Midas was the last
Creator
time.
was 2 day, wasn't it?
Creator was third day.
Was it?
Okay.
I have to go back. I'm going to go back and look. I got my handy-dandy World Race website that I built. I can go in there and look at... That's the first one that I started tracking, so...
I remember because we achieved nothing. World second! Go us.
All right, so... That was 2 days.
2?
Yeah, and so I have a clear from Stone. So it was released, I think, on 9/27 at 10 a.m. And then I have a clear on 9/29 at 11:30.
That's day 3, Frosty.
That's day 3.
That's day 3.
It's technically day 3.
27th, 28th, 29th.
It's 49 hours after release. So
You're
it's
right.
technically
So technically, you're
That's
right.
day-
Technically, you are. But for me, 2 days is 48 hours, not like...
But it was over 48 hours.
It was barely over 48 hours. It was, what, 49.50, I think, right? 49.50. I guess that counts as day 3. You're right. Technically, right is the right. So
Right now, the stream is going for 2 days, 48 hours.
yeah,
So if it happens on the third day,
we're fucked.
that's it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the threshold I'm using to.
Okay, so you're right. Creator would be that one. I don't know what held people up in Creator.
I mean, the last tier was like, how long did Midas take? Like 2 weeks, or was it the end of the first
Right
week?
on the start of the third week, because people got weapons.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so people just weren't as good back then. We didn't have. Well, that was the first tier with the cooldowns were setting too, right?
Oh yeah. That was a big boost. Actually.
The first cooldown resetting, we also had weakness still being max HP down, which was a difficult prog thing as well.
No red mage.
Red mage didn't exist.
Yeah. Sfia,
Things were different then.
are you-
The fact that
Go
red mage is getting buffs in this patch is like, I am ready to just.
I was going to ask you.
I have no idea why they're buffing red mage. Like, if you look at the charts like right now, they're perfectly fine, but we give a little more damage.
It's play rate. They buff and nerf based on play rate, and that's almost it.
That's
Not enough
silly.
things.
Oh, that's insane, though. I could just imagine you get the world first clear here, Sfia, and then you're recording it. There's a red mage weapon in there, and you just throw it on the ground.
We'll see.
Should do
Did you know how much flavor? No, never again.
Yeah.
Where was I getting it? Oh yeah. So there's been a lot of changes since back in Creator in terms of like the difficulty of Prague and what tools we have now within like the jobs and the fight design and all those sorts of things. So it's like it's kind of difficult to equate the two.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of difficulty, like Shiva is a more difficult fight than Alexander Prime was, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That said, this fight is probably going to be the same or more difficult than Shiva, and it's going to have a more difficult third fight before it. So with that said, I'm thinking middle, like it's late in the second day, or the third day.
I think the fourth fight is going to be easier than Shiva.
I don't think so.
I think they're toning it down. I think I
Not
think
a chance.
Shiva had a Midas effect, and they're going to make the next turn easier.
Aren't there more players rating now?
Oh,
I mean, technically, over 9 months, I'm sure there's been more clears of this one than they're normally see.
I actually think that was a really, I mean, to see the silver lining, I think that was a good thing because Shiva was so hard and a lot of people like may have bashed their heads against it and then gone away. A lot of people have come back to it as well because it's been around so long and it's been the only raid content released in so long. That the clear rates have now gone up. And so people have kind of like stewed on it a little bit and figured out that it's not actually too difficult for the community or too difficult for them.
Party Finder, it's too difficult. It is too difficult for Party Finder, Shiva.
I actually don't think so.
Really?
I mean, it's like, because like usually when I stream, I do clear parties with Shiva, and like I wouldn't say like a lot of them get through, but like it's definitely more than I expected.
Okay. Maybe I'm just scarred. I don't know.
The community's had a pregnancy worth of practice already, so.
All right, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, you know what?
I think.
Go ahead.
So I was gonna say I think this fight's gonna die day 2, but I think it's gonna be like, what was Alpha? It was like less than 5 groups clear day 2. It was like very few. I think it's gonna be something similar to that. Like, if I remember correctly, like Kefka had like 2 or 3 groups kill at day 1. So I think it's gonna be something similar to that with like, except on day 2. And like the majority of like the groups like that are like racing are gonna come through like on day 3, but like a few will squeak it out on day 2.
I think that sounds likely.
I can see that happening.
Based on absolutely nothing, I mean,
Yeah.
this is a good amount of speculation going on here.
So I'm looking at it, and within that 48-hour period, 12 teams cleared Sigmascape. Within the
within 48 hours, it was very few teams cleared AlphaScape.
Oh,
And then
AlphaScape.
for Sigma, it was 24 hours.
Oh,
That very
yeah.
few teams cleared it.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it was like this clear divider of like people killing it before they went to sleep, which like sort of inflated the difference between clear times.
Yeah. All right. I mean, do you think that they might Gordius it? Do you think there's any chance we'll have like a really difficult third fight, and then it's just like no one really clears the fourth one?
No.
So you need to kill this fight to go into Ultimate is the thing. And that means that people are going to want to be killing this fight like week 1, week 2 to start getting geared up for Ultimate. They don't want to really gatekeep people from it, so I can't see it being like super fucking difficult and stopping people from killing it week 1, week 2. But that, like, you know, there's so much more community support and community resources now for these types of things that I think more people can clear.
Someone actually made a user for you, Sfia. Go ahead, Balana.
Do you think Square might have been more forgiving or more willing to make Shiva a more difficult fight because we didn't have the 0.3 ultimate this time? Because there was really nothing to get geared up for this time, so...
It is possible, but I also think that that's more to do with the creators of the fight not having made Savage Tears before.
It's true. Because I feel like with the last tier, the third fight probably was a lot more difficult. Like when they were first doing it, like they could have had more randomness with the portals. They could have had a lot of like the mechanics that were in that fight could have been a lot more difficult than how they were implemented. And I think it got toned down in testing.
There's an interview that actually they explained that. The exits of the portal were also random, I think. Like right now it's only the right side is random, right? But the left side was also random. When they first made it, and like the tornado phase was more like Panda Crater apparently. I literally just saw this interview earlier today. Like 7 was way harder, and the DPS check was also harder. And I don't remember what else, but yeah, it was like much more difficult apparently.
Okay. And it looks like somebody posted that in there, the interview.
Yeah, I'll just let it through.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's... Oh, man, it's so hard to get in the mind of SE. It is kind of hard. You can always... It's easy to be, like, hindsight about it. But I don't know. We'll see. Man, what is up with my camera? I am just a freaking slideshow, dude. I'll have to figure... Good thing for the event, we have no cameras. There's no cams for the event.
It's gonna be nice. I'm gonna be able to roll up in my PJs, but yeah, what's up?
Yeah. That was actually a very important thing for me, is to make sure there were no cameras, because I just didn't want to deal... Because as soon as we have cameras, we limit how many people can commentate, because not everybody wants to commentate with camera. We also deal with the technicality of having to like have our video go to somewhere on a stream and have every person handling that deal with that too. And so this makes life so much easier. So basically, we're just having the Discord images over in the corner, so people can see that when they're talking and everything. Hopefully,
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, next year we're gonna be in the Red Bull gaming sphere, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna have a couch going and.
You know what? I Red Bull. If you're out there and you're like, man, let's do it. If COVID's done with, let's go. First Savage of next expansion. But yeah, jeez. I think that
I mean, we'll have it in New Zealand then, and we'll have Sfia be like our on the place guy.
Yeah, he'll be.
We won't let us show his screen at all, but he'll be in the corner, playing.
Everyone gets like
let's
150.
Let's bring. You know what we'll do? We'll bring your team to the gaming event, and you guys will play off of sponsored computers that are there, and try to do world first at the event.
I don't know if we would ever stream it. I don't think we can until other competitive teams are streaming. It's just it's too much of a loss in this game in the way that Prague functions.
But if you're paid like $10,000, you'd probably be like, oh yeah, sure, baby, we do it.
Maybe. I think the only ever situation we would do it is where every other competitive team is doing it. We're getting paid just like stacks, or we think we're so much better than absolutely everyone else that we think there's no way that they can beat us even with us streaming. And so obviously none of those things have happened.
Yeah,
but
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, one of the reasons why WoW is able to get away with it with their events, with all the teams really are like the big top teams do stream their Prague and stuff, is because they have PTRs where they've already done most of these fights already. Like it's the discovery of mechanics is a lot less of a thing in WoW. It's a lot more execution based. There's a lot more DPS checks and healing checks. Is a lot more consistent throughout there. Well, then Final Fantasy, a huge part of Prague is the discovery and then the solving of mechanics.
Yeah.
Like even just like seeing a mechanic can save you like hours off your prog.
So here's a really good example. In the WoW World Race, when Limit got to N'Zoth and they got to the secret mythic only phase that had never been done on any testing realms, they turned off stream.
Yeah?
That is exactly the same as what would happen in every single Final Fantasy race. Like every mechanic that you get to that's new, you're just like, nah, stream's off. We need to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Because as soon as people can see what you can, they have not only your perspective, but their own like perspective as well. And they can probably break things down in a different way than you're seeing yourself. So it's tough. You give away a lot and you sacrifice a lot. So you'd need to be really far ahead.
Especially when it's not day one anymore too.
Yeah, exactly. Another idea that someone had brought up is like streaming potentially with like a several hour delay on the stream. But again, that's like, it has its drawbacks as well.
There's no reason to. That's the Final Fantasy World Race. It's just that's how it functions. And I like the Final Fantasy 14 race because I feel like everyone has seen something new. We're all jumping into something to experience it together. I think that's a lot of the streams do provide that. But if you want to go for world first, Oryza is going to prove you wrong, Sfia, and he's going to get world first probably. And you'll be like, well, fuck, I guess we need to start streaming now.
I would be
Your word's not mine.
super impressed if there's ever a on-stream world first.
Yeah. They're just going to get it because they have that cutscene skipping technology.
Get us extra pulse, dude.
Trying to think how much time that would save in Prague. Like over the space of, what, you'd imagine like a couple hundred pulls, 150, 200 pulls? That's like
an hour
2
at least.
hours. Yeah.
It's a lot of time.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh, you just be really hungry. You'd be loving it, man.
it'd be lovely. So if we actually look at for fun, if we actually look at time differences here, that if it would have to save about 4 hours. It would have to save 4 hours for last tier for Sfia. If you could skip the cutscenes. Sfia's like,
So
shut the
if there's a cutscene, if we get into the last fight and you see a minute-long cutscene, just add 3 hours onto the prog time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
In terms of your expectations.
it was funny. Like, what was it? It was we were starting to see that cutscene. I think in the last event, like just know it's out there, and people were like, "Hey, this is coming up. You should be watching this stream. If they make it, you want to show this and everything else." And we're able to show that on stream, and that was pretty cool. But after a while, we were like,
Yeah, cutscene time. Let's find someone else.
yeah.
I remember that. I disconnected the first time we saw it. Like my stream disconnected and people were complaining. And the second time we saw it, my ninja was like, damn, this is gonna suck. And then Reddit got really mad when it got posted there.
Oh man, whatever. All right, I guess we could talk about the event a little bit. So with the World Race event that we're doing, so people who aren't very knowledgeable about it, there was a event that Method put on. It was about 9 months ago. And we all kind of worked together and tried to make that happen, to make it into a cool little thing for everybody and see how it went. There are a lot of things that happened in the background, and of course Method had their own issues on the way. I think they're doing other stuff right now, but that's not me. So I'm
Method
not
had issues? You're joshing me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Please.
They so basically we were working with them, and we did the first Final Fantasy XIV event, and it was kind of a mess for a handful of reasons. I will say one of the reasons being that the fight was a lot longer than we expected it to be, so we had to kind of stumble and make it all work near the end. And at the end, we didn't get any clears on the stream, just because there's just no way to do it. I think. There's no way, we had no more manpower to keep pushing the hours or anything else, and we just had to kind of cut it. I'm hoping, I'm really, really hoping that this tier is cleared on day 2 on stream, but we'll see. Our event is not sponsored by, well, okay, it is sponsored by Lenovo, but it's not like with a gaming organization. So this is a grassroots thing that we're doing. We're just bringing people together from the community, Final Fantasy XIV players that just want to put on this event. It's nothing to do with any official organization outside of MogTalk, I guess, is the official organization. This podcast that happens sometimes each week. And so we're just doing what we can. It's been a lot of fun and a lot of stress over the last couple of weeks trying to organize it, but we have people like Balana that is helping with commentary and kind of some of the staff work here. And then we have people like Oryza that's providing some point of views when they go streaming. Then we have Sfia, who's going to send me text messages and stuff as their prog is going on and tell me exactly where they are and exactly what's happening behind the scenes of everything.
Oh, is that what's happening, is it?
Yeah.
It's the first time hearing about this.
Oh, Sfia, are you going to do the health bar stream?
I've been trying to make it work, but I don't think I can have my own local recording and have that go at the same time. So I'd be like sacrificing my own prog footage, which is not something that I'm willing to do.
Yeah.
I would have to, because the way that I'm doing my recording now is all through OBS.
You can do local recording and broadcast at the same time, but I don't think you can do 2 different scenes.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Yeah. But no, Sfia's been helping a lot with just making sure we have a good perspective of world racers and everything with the event and giving the opinions of them. His opinions that I think are very valid on a lot of stuff that we're doing. So it's been a journey. I do want to go ahead and just say all the stuff that you guys might not know and then tell you some of the stuff. One thing I have to say is that we have a lot of tech work to make this work as a 48-hour stream, which is what it is. It's a 48-hour stream that we're doing. I have to give a shout out to Moogle Troop, because that guy has been a champ at setting up a lot of IT stuff that we wouldn't be able to do it as a consistent 48-hour stream without Moogle Troop. And you may not think of Moogle Troop and think, oh, IT stuff, but he's actually like an awesome guy, and we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing without him. That being said, we also have. Let me get my schedule out. Where is it at? For commentary, we have Balana, we have Layla, we have famously Jess or Jess, we have Ethis coming on, we have Fold, we have Miss Rogue Flame, we have Nimic, we have Miuni, we have Leafy, who is a WoW, who has worked with WoW commentary a good bit and is coming over. He's very familiar with Final Fantasy XIV, but he's mostly known in the WoW community. We have Winlog on, we have Krev coming on, and not Oryza, not Oryza. We don't have him on, except for streaming it. And then we also have some people handling the stream in the background, which is Comey, Casa, who a lot of you might not know, but he did a lot of the setup for the overlays, which I'm very happy with the overlays and kind of how we have the stream set up. And I'm looking forward to showing that to everybody. It looks kind of nice, man. It really does. And Pukajitsu, who's helping with the stream, Hilmi Harry, and Ethis is actually helping with the stream as well. So it's a thing. It's a thing. We also have people helping with the tracking. The tracking's going to be a little bit weird because I'm not going to be doing it 100% of the time. I'm going to have other people kind of help out. But you can still, because you know what's really goofy with the tracking is that people like to tell me they cleared it on Twitter. But that's great. But if I'm asleep and someone else is tracking it, that's going to go nowhere.
So how are submissions going to work then for clears if you're asleep?
Google Forms, man. If you fill out that Google form that we have on the website, it says report a clear. You press that, you fill that out. The people who are in charge of tracking it will be looking at that form. And so they'll look and see your submission. It's very important that you do that if you plan to submit clears to the spreadsheet because I might not be there to catch it. I know some people send it to me in Discord. I have people message me in Discord. I have people message me on Twitter. I have people emailing me and all these things. It's great when I'm the only person doing it. But since we don't have me as the only person doing it.
Stroke at your door.
Yeah.
Frosty, we clear.
Giving me phone calls, just all kinds
sending you a fax.
Yeah. So, that submission is the main way to do it. But yeah, that's we have, I think, 35 to 40 people working together. We have also 3 artists. I need to make sure you guys know. Casa is one of the artists, and then Amy and Jolly, who have produced some really amazing artwork that we're using on the stream and to promote the event.
The art team's been incredible. It's like everything they put out, I'm just blown away.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to thanking all of them after we're done with the event. But I want to make sure their names are kind of known too. We'll put some Twitter posts up there and some other things because these people are absolutely fantastic people. And I know that when I started this, I was like, I hope people respond and are up for helping.
Well, I remember you'd said you have a number in mind of how many people you think it would take to make this work, and I think you've gone beyond that, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, I thought for streaming wise, I needed at least let's see, 1, 2, 3. I can't remember what number I used. I think I used 6 times 3, so 18. I needed 18 streamers and commentary, which we almost got there. We're really close, but we had some people who could kind of pick up shifts a little bit because I want everyone to know this is purely charity. Everything that we're doing, no one's taking any money here. It's all going to charity. How we're doing this.
Frosty isn't paying me shit.
I'm not paying anyone anything, and I'm not making any
exposure,
money.
Dude.
Well, that's another thing, right? And so I want to make sure this channel doesn't really profit too much off of it. So the idea is that if you guys sub to this channel, that's going to be donated to charity later on. If you put bits towards this channel, it's going to be donated to charity. Anything in December at all regarding support for this channel, outside of Patreon, which I am still using, to be honest with you, Patreon is still without Patreon, I wouldn't have the server software that I needed to make this event run. So that's going towards the mechanics and making it run, but everything else is going towards straight charity. And I want to make that clear because I don't want to benefit if no one else benefits. And that's always my philosophy. So the
So
whole
that means you said for the entirety of December. So that means if you sub right now to Frosty with Twitch Prime,
yeah, and
it's going to charity.
that would go to charity. You're right, absolutely.
Every
I
Prime sub is $2.50 out of Jeff Bezos' pocket, straight to charity.
That's true.
Make sure you use it.
I will say that if you guys want to support the charity, I would donate directly. But if you have a Prime sub, then yeah, I'm going to put that Prime sub to Child's Play. By the way, I didn't say that, but Child's Play is the charity, and they do work with kids and domestic abuse victims in hospitals to provide video games and technology, which is amazing. So I would say not do a real sub unless if you really want to do it, you can. But Twitch is going to take their cut from that sub. So they don't really get anything from the Prime subs, but they get it from your regular sub. So, man, my camera's going crazy. Look, see all these subs that you're doing right now, straight to Child's Play. So I'm trying to think of what I didn't even get to. All the gift subs.
We got the level 5 hype train right away.
Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah, you guys, I did not see all of this happen in chat. You guys are all donated to charity right now. So,
This is a good warm up. It's a good warm up, but we're gonna need to save some of that intensity for the race. But
yeah. Save some of the intensity for the race, but yeah, holy fuck.
I gotta write a note.
Level 5 hype train.
We gotta sell out for Twitch Prime for charity. Like during the stream, we gotta remember.
Dude,
that,
it worked.
Yeah,
It's so good.
Yeah. All straight. Yeah, I would say if you want to donate directly, donate to Tiltify, just to avoid that extra cut that Twitch gets on there. The primes are really good. If you guys want to sub this way, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to stop you because no matter what, it's going to go to charity. I don't care. And you guys are champions for that. Let me start talking about the event more. Hold on, let me move over here. So I want everybody to know we are going to go up. God, I wish my camera wouldn't be doing this, but we are going to go up 1 hour before the servers go up. And we're going to be doing a pre-show with Ethis and Layla where we talk about the event and what's happening and going into the details and everything else. We are also going to go up 30 minutes before that, playing some music just before we go live to kind of get live and everything else. Past that, we are going to be doing full-on coverage. All the people are either working 3 to 4 hour shifts and then swapping off afterwards so we don't get too exhausted. And we're also going to be just doing commentary on restreams. That's the goal. We've again asked tons of people. We have about 85 different streams that offered up their point of view, and we're going to be showing their streams on here and commentating over the progression over the tier. So it's just going to be that central place that we come and talk about the World Race. When we show people streams on there, I would always recommend going and giving them a follow and supporting them too. And we're going to be pushing it in that direction because without that, we wouldn't have any footage to do commentary. Last time we did this event with Method, Oryza, you remember what you had to do as a raider for them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, they needed a stream that went directly to them, and then that was required to be a part of it. And that means if you do that, you can't stream to your own stream unless if you use Restream or something else that costs like $20 or something, right? And it sucks. It sucks, but the idea is that I require nothing of anyone who's helping us provide a point of view besides them streaming. And that's it. So if you guys stream, I'd be happy to take it. And I think that's the best way to handle it. That was so crappy. That communication was so crappy, man. I'm sorry, Oryza.
I just don't like that organization.
No. A lot of people do have some frustration with them.
Well, it's worse now.
Yeah. I don't. We won't go into method drama. I don't know. I will say there's going to be donation incentives during the stream, and so my goal and my plan is if you donate $1 to the stream, you're automatically entered into a giveaway for a Mog Station item up to $30. And so it's just one Mog Station item, whatever you pick, up to $30. And we have some people actually supporting by adding funds to provide a pool of money to purchase Mog Station items to give away. So there is no set limit to how much we're doing on that. I'm just going to keep going down until all the funds for the Mog Station items are done. And so we're just going to give as many Mog Station items as we can for every person that does a $1 donation there. The second Am I still talking incentive? I only talked about it for a second here. All right.
You keep shilling. No, it's good. Keep going.
The second one that we have is we are doing we have a person that's doing commissions, and they'll do 3 commissions. So anyone who donates $5 or more will be entered into a chance to get a free bust commission, which I think is an absolutely Final Fantasy 14 thing, right? People.
Yeah, and if you've seen the quality of those ones that this artist does, they're really good.
They're extremely good. I don't have them on me right now. She did post a tweet.
Yeah, you retweeted it just recently.
Yeah,
so
if I
anyone's
could-
interested, go check out his Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. And then anyone who donates $10 or more during the event will be entered in for a giveaway for a Lenovo headset, which is actually, they look pretty sweet. I was like, a headset? Are we talking about like, the $20 thing that you get at Walmart and you kind of put it on or something? But I think these are like really nice wireless headsets that are like valued somewhere up to like $150 or something like that. So they're very, very, very solid. And I think that if you guys want to, I figured that was good for incentives. I figured that was a good idea to provide this for incentives. The other thing is we're going to have milestones. I'm not going to tell you guys all what the milestones are. You're going to have to kind of find out. And we will show the milestones. When you meet one, we'll show you what the second milestone is. But the first one does, actually a lot of these involve me. But we'll see. And those are still kind of, those are still actually being developed and worked on a little bit. But I'm okay with not meeting all of the milestones, I think, at the event. So far that I've seen for what we're doing. So
Frosty has some very embarrassing things he's willing to put himself out there for if the donations
Just a little
really
bit.
start rolling in.
I think I've hit my limit on that, though. I don't know if I'll have more embarrassing things that I'm willing to do. I think we've got to it. That being said, what else? I think that's all the incentives. All right, there's my incentives. You guys can't be mad at me for talking about it anymore. We already talked about who's commentary, everything else. I do want to go ahead and do a quick bit of information. We are working with Aethernet, who is providing a lot of bodies for things that we need, and I appreciate it. They're coming on. They're helping some with commentary. They're helping some with moderation, and they're helping some with tracking and everything else. And so they're basically working to make sure that this event works, and I appreciate them a lot for it. And then there's also Phase Temperance. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was saying they're also like majority streamers, so they would be taking time out of when like their busy part of like the patch cycle to be a part of this as well, which is huge.
Yeah.
So it's very generous of them.
It's amazing, and I really appreciate them doing it. The next organization is the Phase Temperance, which is kind of an upcoming group that's been working for a lot of competitive PvE stuff. And they've done their own side of providing stuff to help us out and everything. But the really interesting thing they're doing is they're actually, I think this is the first time we've ever had rewards ever offered to anyone who's hardcore progging. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think they're offering something like over $1,000 for the team that clears E11S first on stream. Same thing for E12S. And they're even offering a global, whoever clears it first gets like 1,800 or something for their team.
Yes, I think it's all
Sounds about
assuming
right.
that you've signed up
Yeah, you have to
to
sign
the
up with
event
them.
in the Discord as well.
Yeah.
So you can't just randomly clear it, show up, and be like, "Hey, look, we did it!" If you haven't already been a part of this.
Yeah. And Uni's actually in chat. I think that I need to give her. Let me give
Mod?
Uni's. Yeah, let me give Uni mod to Uni. And if you would like to put that Discord in there, is that one X? Is that one underline or 2 underlines? I think it's 2.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So, if you want to post the Discord link in there so people who want to be a part of it can join in, that would be great. But you guys should definitely check that out. We have this awesome transition work that they worked on with the event too that makes everything look that much cooler. So I'm glad to have it for a stinger on it. As well as providing Mog Station items. They've been awesome. So that's the majority of the things about the World Race. What else did I not mention about it? I think that's it. Yeah.
that it's going to be a lot of fun, and you should tune in.
You should. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. You should tune in. We've been working really hard, guys. We've been working really hard for this event. This has been like my life for the last 2 weeks. It's been absolutely my life for the last 2 weeks. And the show today, we didn't really do a lot of prep work for it. We were just kind of coming on here so we could talk about the World Race a little bit, because that's tradition on MogTalk to talk about the World Race before it happens. And it's going to be tradition to talk about it again afterwards with Oryza's team once they get world first. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, it's been a journey. And I want to say this, like, after doing all this so far, and I'm going to say it probably multiple times, and going through everything that we've done, I'm already so proud of what we were able to do for the planning part of it, that if everything flopped the day that we did it, I'd probably be okay, because I'm already impressed with everything that we've done behind the scenes that you guys don't get to see. I think it's going to be really cool. There's a lot of issues that we were able to jump over, a lot of hurdles that we were able to fix, but... all right, World Race stuff. I think I went over I guess, what else should I do to hype people up about the World Race? What can I do, guys? How do I
Hey, this is the first Savage tier we've had in 9 months. We haven't had any good raid content.
It's true.
And we're gonna be able to see it all happen live right here on Frosty_TV.
All right, commentator.
And you're going to see Frosty single-handedly prove that he's better than an entire organization that is method at organizing.
It's true.
Yeah.
You've put so much more work in than they did. Oh my god. You've been putting in so much work behind the scenes. It's been crazy. Like, most people don't know, but like he's constantly organizing like people, and it seems really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Whereas like Meth, they just like fucking messaged us like the day before, being like, "Oh, we need you to do like a million things," and I was like, "What? Okay."
It sounds like hyperbole what I said, but Frosty has worked his ass off.
Yeah.
I'd sent out a tweet a while ago, but like he's too good for the Final Fantasy community, but just too much.
No. Jesus Christ, I feel bad for Method, man. The people that we worked with weren't like horrible, but I think they were the result of what the organization was doing to them, in a way. So a lot of people that were working with us were stretched thin in their own regard, doing other things, and so it was. I can't put too much blame on them. There are people in the Method organization that I'm glad, hopefully, are not part of it anymore. But I don't know. I feel like it's just really old drama. There's like even no point to talk about it, except for me, who stayed up for 48 hours trying to organize and run that event. But they did some neat stuff. Anyways, what else do we got? That's about it, man. I know there's not like a lot to talk about right now. I feel like we've only been on for like an hour 20 minutes. We usually go for like 2 hours. But
this is just the tease. This is to set up for the big thing going on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also really important. Saying this to someone who's not going to be a part of it, I feel like it's a bit easier for me to say. But
oh no, you're a part of it.
I'm not going to be actively like streaming to it or commentating. Yeah, those sorts of things directly.
Holy shit!
But
there's questions. Let me do that. Sorry, go ahead.
What's the question? Okay. Yeah.
No. I'm telling
event,
people.
All right. As an event, this is like, I think, really important that everyone here is probably going to be there, but tell your friends as well, because this is like the first step into making like a really solid and consistent event, especially when it's for something as like good as this charity. It's the Final Fantasy community can be great, and this is a really good example to show that.
Yeah. And that being said, I mean this charity does. We were looking at charities and everything else to which ones we should pick, and it's very difficult to kind of navigate through the billions of charities out there. But this one definitely hit like a nerve with me, because it does deal with children who are unfortunate enough to be in hospitals and have to deal with all this other stuff. And video games helped me a lot in my life, and if I didn't have them, I'd be fucked. And so I'm glad that we can find some way to kind of provide it to them, even if they're in really bad situations.
I remember when Child's Play was founded. It's done. It was originally put together by the Penny Arcade guys, who also eventually made PAX as well, like the whole convention thing. And it was when video games were getting a whole lot of flack in the media for being violent, murder simulator, horrible
Yeah.
people play these things. They're like, you know what, let's do some good. So that kind of like it's a really great organization that it's a great way for gamers to show that we're not all a bunch of scumbags, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's true. By the way, when we were talking about questions, yeah, you guys can definitely ask questions over here in chat. I have to load it up here. And man, I am so glad we're not using camera for this event. I don't know what's going on with Mr. Logitech here. Glad we're not sponsored by them.
Dude, don't close yourself off to the future.
Oh shit, you're right.
yeah.
Don't burn my bridges yet. Don't burn my bridges yet.
Yeah.
I actually, my webcam is a crappy Logitech cam. I think I bought like 15 years ago, and it's been a trooper. It hasn't like kicked the bucket yet, so.
There's just something with this one in particular. I don't know if it's the software or the drivers or something else. I need to figure it out. All right, so I'm going to ask some of these questions here for you. And by the way, again, I want to make sure you all know everyone on this show is like sleep deprived in many ways. And so if some of the quality is a little bit off, I apologize. Like I've been trying to sleep some, and I know these guys are all doing crazy raid stuff, and it's insane. And it means a lot to me that you guys came on. So let me see if I can get this to load up. Do you think the third fight is going to be a hard struck, or is going to be hard, or hard stuck? Sorry, I guess basically a wall, because the previous third floors have been so easy, as Yoshi claimed. We already kind of talked about that, didn't we? Yeah, we talked a little bit about. You think Sfia is pretty confident that it's going to be difficult?
More difficult. I'm not saying it's going to be a huge step up, but it's going to be more difficult than the previous two third fights we've seen. Almost certainly, in my opinion.
Okay.
They could prove us wrong once again.
Yeah, like how I was saying, the Flock of Seagulls fight seemed like it was really tuned down in testing, and I'm guessing they didn't do like as much of a dialing down this time.
Okay. Oryza, pretty much same.
I mean, I think like E7 and E3 are like so, I don't know, they're just like easier than like even like Stormblood fights, like the third fights. I don't know, the third fights this expansion have been very disappointing, so I don't think it takes a lot to be harder.
You mean to tell me you don't like giant omnidirectional off the map bosses on a square platform that happens to have like tile based mechanics and position?
Laser tank busters too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Hey, we're getting the tiles right out of the way at the first fight this time.
That is true. That is true.
True.
All right, this is a good one. Oryza, did Tolls get a girlfriend?
I actually do not know. But even if he did, he's looking for another one, so.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Do you think the transition in the trailer... Oh, do you think the transition in the trailer where there is the LB limit break, is that from E11S or E12S? Do you think that we're going to need an L3 limit break in Savage?
That was the
Tank?
arena with all the mirrors, right?
The crystals, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think it's E11, and I don't think you'll need limit break. Well, like you might, but like in the past, in the trailers when they do it, they just kind of like do it whenever they feel like it, and it has nothing to do with like the actual fight.
Yeah, the patch like trailers are incredibly misleading, and I think it's almost intentional in the way that they actually handle mechanics. They just do things blatantly wrong to how it's supposed to actually be resolved. I think it's like a little bit of a red herring in there, but we'll see.
I mean,
O11 had a limit break, right?
Yeah, it did.
Yes. The normal mode didn't, though. You just had to press your button
you
on
had
the
to click
thing
the
and
thing,
have
yeah.
a seizure while you did it.
yeah. So tank limit breaks, do you guys, it feels so weird to have those in fights because it feels forced and it doesn't really feel like there's anything you can ever do. It's just like you have to use it because the game says you have to use a tank limit break here. Well,
Tank
I,
limit break
like-
exists in fights as a you can't have used healer LB3 before this point
Yeah, or melee LB.
Okay.
to make a check.
Yeah. Okay. On a
Just
scale
take off all your gear before the pull. Does that still work?
It got nerfed by 80%. LB cheese is now 20% of what it was.
which is good. Yeah.
Thank God.
Sfia, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to go Bard finally?
Who the hell keeps saying this? Like, people came into my stream and were just like, "Oh, you're playing Bard for next Prague," and it was just like an hour of people telling me like, "Oh, you're
I don't
gonna have fun
know.
playing Bard." I have zero interest, and I've expressed zero interest in playing Bard. I don't know where this is coming from.
Oh, jeez. I
Four
don't
Bards
know.
for
I think
Prague.
people just like trolling you, man. I think you're just
I
like,
think so.
yeah, you're just a target. This is a question for me. When will you do a VTuber MogTalk episode? Honestly, this is a cool trend that's coming up. How many VTubers do we have in the community? We have Stall, who's doing VTubing now, right?
There's
Kayoko?
quite a lot. Like, they pop up every just look in the
Kayoko,
directory and you'll see
he
them left,
told
right, and
me he
center.
wasn't doing it, and that he's not really a VTuber, is what he said to me the one time I asked. But I think he's BSing me.
He's got the avatar going on.
Yeah.
Does that count as a VTuber? I mean, what's the cutoff?
I don't know. I really don't know. This is such a new thing for me. Is a VTuber someone who has to be that person? There's not a real person that can be found behind that person, or is it like?
YouTubers are all real people.
Yeah, I know
Except,
they
like-
are, but do they advertise I'm a real person? Is that the difference? I don't know.
I think he's trying to
guess-
say, is there a differentiation between, like, is this VTuber only ever present themselves as an online avatar as opposed to with the person behind it? And I don't know the answer to that question. I am literally clueless.
I haven't fallen down the VTuber rabbit hole yet, so
I don't watch VTubers either.
Stay strong, friends.
I watch Style, so I guess that's true. Do watch VTubers. So maybe, I mean, we'll see how the trend works. For maybe that'll be one of the donation incentives that we'll do a VTuber MogTalk, and I will make a VTuber avatar, and we will do that. Oh, that would be good. That would be good. Let's see. The next question here. I don't understand this question. Please explain the Chloe Gold certificate meme.
Okay, all right, it's not a meme.
Okay.
If you have done Wondrous Tales and you have a Chloe's Gold Certificate of Commendation in your possession, hit me up. I will pay you 20 million gil on patch 5.4 to get that from you. Right? You can't trade it to me. You have to get an item with it and then trade it.
Okay.
I will legitimately. We want 8 of them. So just let me know. DM me, Twitter, Discord, in game, anything.
No explanation.
You can
for
show
why.
up to my house and be like, I've got a commendation. I don't care. I need them.
How much did you say you're paying?
20 mil.
So my team's paying 25 mil for the gold certificates if anyone's interested.
Mute him right now.
No, we're not
I,
doing
sorry,
that.
I think Ori's got some connection problems, guys.
that's pretty pricey for what is it, like 150 extra substats?
80 extra substats. They've never sold above 10 mil. People are like, oh, but the mount sells for 16 or some shit, but you get the mount from Wondrous Tales. So you can't use the comment of the certificate price because it's got another source. Yeah.
There you go. If you guys are really good friends with Chloe, you could make some gil. Even if you don't.
I should do my
Hardcore.
Wondrous Tales for this week.
Yeah, maybe that's what I should do. Is I should go do my Wondrous Tales.
It's gonna be like going and buying a Powerball.
What is a certificate? I'll say it again real quick, just because I think everyone needs to absolutely hear this. Do your Wondrous Tales. You can use your shuffle until you get the opportunity to line up 3 lines of your little stamps. If you get 3 lines, you trade it into Chloe and you get a gold certificate of commendation and a silver and a bronze one. Choose the gold one, please, because you can get some other trash. Then you keep that in your inventory, DM me or someone in TPS or one of our crafters, and then we'll get it from you at 5.4.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, legitimately, the JP team has all 8 already. NA needs your help.
If you want to save NA in the World Race, then do that.
Yeah.
Give it to Oryza's team, so we can see. Oh, jeez. All right, here's another one. What are your thoughts on the Prague meta? Any thoughts on Prague mentality? And is there any advice around for how many hours? Wait. Oh, is there any advice around that? Just keeping a Prague mentality. And I guess the third question on that is, how many hours do World Proggers sleep after the first day? So we'll answer this one at a time. what are your thoughts on the Prague job meta?
I mean, that's like the best time to play red mage, right?
Yeah. Is it just red mage? Is that really it? Is that like the...
It depends on what you're doing. So a lot of people seem to think that there's some like best in slot prog meta, but that all entirely depends on the people in your team. Like if you're replacing people because they don't play the jobs that you think are best for prog, but they're really good at those jobs, like you're dumb. You'll play better on the jobs that like you're like more comfortable on and know in and out, especially in blind content, than forcing yourself into some like meme of a comp.
I would say there are only like a few guidelines you need. 5% from your DPS, right? You need one of every role. Probably, I would think you probably don't want double physical range. That sounds like pretty bad to me. No double jobs either. You want at least a caster raise. And I think that's about it. Other than that, I feel like pretty much anything goes.
That's kind of the hard and fast rules. After that, you've got things which can help, but you can actively hurt yourself by trying to push for these like little things you're getting.
Okay. I'm gonna skip the other questions for just this. Well, actually, let me ask this one. How many hours do World Prague players sleep after the first day? 8 hours?
Depends how long you go.
Okay.
The less you push in the first day, the less sleep you need at the end of it. If you've done like 20 hours, you got to get like 7-8 hours sleep. If you've only done like 16, 17, you can get away with 5 and wake up and kill a fight sort of thing. So it's all based on like the cumulative of everything combined.
I'd say usually like 6 to 8's average.
Okay. So let's go to this next question. Hello, broadcaster. I would love to help with the Final Fantasy XIV World Race, but sadly, all I've got are some Chloe gold certificates obtained via getting 3 lines on Wondrous Tales Journal. Is there anything I could do to help my fellow North American gamers to succeed?
I am Sfia, #3133 at Discord. I've put it in the chat. Message me right now. I got words for you.
Okay.
This is just making me think of that meme where like, NA needs your help. All we need is your mom's credit card and those 3 wacky digits on the back.
Oh. All right. Here's another question that we should answer. Why isn't Cleese commentating? We fired him. We were like, dude sucked, man. He was just really not good at what he did. I don't know what to tell you. And then I think that he got picked up by some group or something to maybe talk about.
He was really depressed and down, and like we felt bad for him. So we're like, do you want to like I don't know, be a support member or something? You can be our cheerleader. So he's kind of with us now. Yeah.
I will say this. Cleese was a rock for the Method stream, and he was a really big help. But he has more important things to deal with.
Yeah, he literally told Cleve that he can't do this because we need him.
Like apparently he's helping Sfia's group with like 9th man in or something. I don't know. But I'm gonna let him do that. And if he says Gratz GAP once, I'm gonna ruin that man. But anyways, let's see. There's a couple of monk questions. I'll pick one question here. Do you think the monk change and job buffs will have an effect on the race at all?
Only if they massively overtune monk.
Okay.
Which will be really easy to tell like straight away.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't follow like as hardcore with that, but I would imagine, man, they have done that though, right? They have overtuned.
They have. That's what they did to Astro and Creator is a really good example of that. But a really good example. Well, sorry, not a really good example. Go back.
Yeah.
I think in terms of the question, will it affect the world race? I don't think it will, because I think every competitive team has someone who can play monk if it's busted. So it wouldn't affect the standings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the world race is that you have to be ready to pick whatever the change. You guys will have a day, right? The notes come up usually.
The notes come up when the servers are down.
Yeah. So I
A
don't
little
know
bit less
how.
than 24 hours.
Yeah, about 24 hours to analyze the notes and plan that all out. So, All right. That's a no.
I saw a good one in chat. WTF is the ninth ban. So in like an action movie when the hero is like running around and there's some guy in a chair like going through the screen. They're the guy in the chair.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
It's Alfred, the Batman.
Yeah. The knife man
Except
is sitting back
more
there.
strategy.
Oh yeah, a lot more strategy. They're back there, kind of helping analyze the fight and seeing it from an outside perspective to see what they can tell the group to do. Like kind of like not a coach. Like I guess imagine a coach in a cheerleader outfit. That's kind of what you're getting. that's kind of what you're getting. The coach from Home Movies in a cheerleader outfit. That's kind of the ninth man position. Does anyone even know Home Movies? Am I on my own with that show?
I love that show.
Okay.
Brendan Small, he's an amazing guitarist. He did Metalocalypse too.
Yeah, he's amazing. But I realize a lot of times that I've seen stuff that sometimes when I saw it, people weren't born. I can't remember when I saw it anymore. I'm so old now.
What year?
Me? Like how old?
What year? No, what are the thing you're referring to?
Home Movies.
Home Movies.
Oh.
It's like early 2000s, I want to say.
I don't think we got that.
I was alive.
Oh, jeez. You're alive, but you weren't. You weren't really able to retain much, I would assume. Not good quality television, apparently, at least.
It's basically a cartoon made by the guy who made Metalocalypse, but he made it before he made Metalocalypse.
Do you know what Metalocalypse is?
Nope.
Even I know what Metalocalypse is.
Oh, Oryza. Make sure you guys get those gold certificates to Sfia, man. Make sure you get those over to him. Well, we already talked. There's a question about dark horses. We already talked about Psylink's out there. They haven't really said anything, and I don't think we'll hear anything until they clear. And that's just kind of how it is. I mean, maybe. Yeah, send me their Twitter. Do they usually post their Twitter clears at all before?
I don't know. They might this time. I think last time was the first time they've done Hardcore Prague, and I know they're going Hardcore again. So maybe they'll be more social media wise about it.
Yeah,
But
send
we'll see.
me. Remember to get me in touch with all their Twitter so I can just make sure I can keep an eye out on them.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay, this always comes up. No matter what. What do you recommend to eat while progging hardcore hours? Coffee, energy drinks?
My biggest thing I'd say, don't screw up your diet too much. Like if you're eating microwave meals and hot pockets already, like don't feel bad about doing that for Prague again. Like you don't want to immediately go out and get like a big old kale salad or something and shove that down your face and suddenly it rips through you.
Mm-hmm.
I had one guy in Midas, my bard I was playing with then. He bought these like iced tea things. It's like Thai iced teas, like these packets, and he had like 6 or 7 of them. And he just started like throwing up in the middle of raid. So don't screw with your diet too much. But I mean, it's good to get some bananas, some carrots. I like having a big bag of carrots. It's something good to like crunch on. It's not potato chips.
Celery works pretty well, but it gets stuck in your teeth because celery has like nothing. You burn calories eating celery.
And celery is like a big thing. You got to commit to the whole stock of it. You can get a nice little bag of baby carrots.
Oh, I gotcha. All right, so what do you normally eat?
Nothing.
Okay.
I mean, like, no, I actually can't eat. Like, I just like don't get hungry, so I eat like a sandwich over the course of like the day, usually.
Okay. I mean, what was it that we were talking about with T? It was so long ago, Sfia. With who was it? Like, was it with them eating? There's someone that you tortured and like he would die if you guys didn't clear. And was it? I don't remember if it was food or not.
What?
I'm trying to remember. It was something
Is
horrible.
it Sindel with his chest pains?
Yeah, I think it is because didn't he say like he constantly had like chest pains? Or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Every time we get into Prague with Sindolf, he's just like, I'm having chest pains. And like, you have to kill the fight or else Sindolf is literally going to die at his computer. It's terrifying. That's that's why we go fast. To
The
save our boys
timeline
alive.
where he clears. Sindel die.
Yeah. That wasn't
Um,
food related, but yeah, I remember something. I was like, "Was that what the thing?" But no, yeah. Go ahead, Sfia.
I'm actually really particular about food. Like, you have to cut. Well, I have to make sure that I have something. Like, I have oatmeal every morning, which is low GI, slow release energy, with like fruit and yogurt. And then after that is just like the banana train all day. You just have a banana as a snack, and then you have like a meal later on, and then that's all your meals for the day. And then no matter how long you go, you can just like you set time like periods by like a banana. So you have 3 hours of banana, 3 hours and a banana, and then you're fine for the rest of the day. If like you extend, you push extra hours, you just have another banana, and you're fine.
Keep saying banana for me.
Banana, it's good.
Banana.
Banana.
I say banana, but banana sounds.
Prague
so much
footage of
better.
me central. I don't centrally eat bananas.
Banana.
I do eat half a banana sometimes. That's like
How do you
very
eat your
specific.
banana? Then? Do you just like break it in half and you just smash it in your face and then you go forward? Is that like? how you-
I actually peel the whole thing, throw it up, and then just in one go.
Oh.
No. It depends. If I'm having half a banana, you gotta get the banana and then you gotta cut it down the middle, and you gotta like wrap the other half, put it in the fridge, and then you peel it. But if
I
you're
feel
having the
like
whole
we're
banana,
going
just
way too
rip it
far
to
on this.
pieces. I'm very specific about my banana habits. But yes, bananas are great prog food. I would highly recommend if you like doing long hours that you join me on the banana train.
Tennis players love bananas. That's what I remember about bananas. Okay. Thoughts on double melee in Prague? Do you think it's going to be a liability again? Is the question.
I don't think it was a liability before. I think it's fine.
Okay.
I think it's fine. I just think there's a better option if your players are capable of doing it.
Yeah.
Because like it just means mechanics. You can do mechanics as ranged a little bit better than you can as a melee, right?
It means that if you make a shit strat with bad uptime, you're punished significantly less for it.
Means you can use shittier strats with 3 ranged.
No. As long as they don't bring back that like mechanic that targets to melee and then targets to ranged by their job and not by the range they are from the boss or something like that.
They actually don't exist. Those mechanics do not exist.
At all.
It's always by boss proximity.
Is it always boss? Even before? I thought it was.
Yeah, it's either role based, as in tank, healer, DPS, or it's boss proximity based.
Okay.
I think the only exception to that is no, it's not. Not even melee sign. No, they're all boss proximity.
Okay. Here's a question. This is actually about exaflares. What do you think the history of exaflares has taught us about raid positioning and how we should be very worried about a new and improved version this time? Do you think that that's a concern? Is that a thought that you guys have at all?
It's got to look out for those diagonal exaflares, man.
Yeah. It's true.
I think people have gotten good enough at exaflares now that it's not going to be like some prog stuff or some like new and improved exaflare. It's just going to be the same thing with a twist. So I am not too worried about that.
Okay. I don't know if this is a question you guys can answer or not. What's the best nugget sauce?
Barbecue.
Sweet and sour.
Depends on the nugget.
This is.
What kind of nuggets are you eating?
Like, what's your difference? You have
Bone-in?
like spicy
That's
nuggets,
not a
and not
nugget.
spicy nuggets.
Are we getting Wendy's nugs? Are we going to Macca's? Are we getting the
That's fair.
Macca spicy? Are we getting the Wendy's spicy? Are we going to Cane's? So the best tendies in all the land is Cane's with the Cane's.
Oh, it's so good. Cane's is so good,
Yeah.
but not so many people don't know about Cane's. It is. I mean, the chicken by itself from Cane's is shit, but once you put it in that sauce, it's like amazing. That's all it needs. And you just get those goddamn Texas toast. If the place does it well and they butter it and like just burn it in just enough to where you don't really taste it, like where it's burnt in, but it's nice and warm and it has that crisp to it. And then the fries are okay. They're acceptable. It's all about, man.
Well, it really sounds to me like the best play is to just get the sauce from there and just go get nuggets somewhere else.
I don't know if that'll work. I don't know. I haven't tried it with other nuggets from other places.
I mean, I guess if you're going for like a Macca's nugget, I'm always partial to the buffalo sauce from there. They used to have a really good buffalo sauce, but then they like changed it like I don't know, like 12 years back or something, and now it's not quite as good. But
We're like
You never
corporate
think about it.
shills
Stuck
right
in the
now or
past,
something.
Balana.
We are really corporate shilling right now.
Can McDonald's sponsor me? Thanks.
Yeah, please. But I will say the reason why, and I'm going to say this again because I want to say this because I never hear anyone say anything about Cane's, is they're so good, is the only thing they sell is chicken strips. That's their meal. They don't have burgers. They don't have any, just chicken strips, their sauce, their Texas toast, and their fries, and that's it. I think they have a bun. If you want a sandwich, they put 3 strips on in a bun, and they give you a sandwich. That's your thing. But I don't know who
Forget
does
that.
Yeah.
Either go there, get the Caniac combo, and you'll either love it or you hate it.
Oh, we are so much selling. I'm going to call, you know what? Maybe we can get sponsored by them next time.
Hey, yeah, there we go.
Oh, I could totally do that. All right. Let's see. One more question here. As a Final Fantasy VIII fan here, are you very disappointed by the 2 boss fights they showed? Were you expecting others like Tiamat, Krista, Tripoint, or something else from Osamicia's castle? Are you guys Final Fantasy VIII fans, by the way? I gotta ask that first.
Big time.
Yeah?
8 is the only one I never really played myself. I watched my brother play it when I was in like middle school or something, so.
Okay. Oryza, do you even know what 8? Were you born when 8 came out? I don't know.
I don't know. Let me Google it.
It might have been 1 or 2.
I was 3.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. No, 8. Never really expected anything from Ultimecia's castle, particularly outside of Ultimecia herself, or maybe some reference to Grieva, which I'm pretty sure we're kind of seeing in the patch preview thing with her with the little pendant. But I mean, we're all almost certain it's going to be Ultimecia, so like, we're getting the Final Fantasy VIII stuff. We'll get the Final Fantasy VIII music. It's going to be great.
Just imagine they didn't, though. How would the community react if they didn't have that thing?
It would have to be something very good. It couldn't be like a divisive thing that they're changing it to.
What if you zone into the last fight and then One Winged Angel starts playing?
Yes. There's no way.
And then they throw Sephiroth down. Oh, they just burn their. I think they have to
Designed by Nomura.
I think they have to save it for the remake disc 2. I think they have to save it for that. I don't know why they didn't do anything for the remake thing. I feel like they should have had something there, but
they're saving the 7 crossover for when sub numbers really go down in the tank.
Oh, is that going to be like Final Fantasy 14 7 edition now, and then they'll bring it out?
Yeah. In case of low sub numbers, break glass, and behind the glass is the Final Fantasy 7 crossover.
Yeah. All right. I feel like that's pretty good for questions. That's it. Thank you guys for reminding me that there's questions. Sometimes you guys aren't too good with questions every week. I'm going to admit it, chat. Sometimes you guys don't have a lot of questions. You don't. You're just like, the guest, it could be good. The guest could just literally answer every question you ever have, and you don't feel like you need to ask them. But, it's always nice to have that at the end of the show, so give some interactivity, especially to all the support you guys have given to charity today. So thank you guys very much. I'm going to have to check that out, and I'll let everyone know at the end of December kind of what we do here. Man, Balana, you look like you're going to go to sleep, but I really don't believe you're going to go to sleep. You got to stay up, don't you?
Yeah, I got an axe, and I got to start getting world buffs in like an hour here, and then build an axe and get back onto 4 Horsemen Prague.
Oh, man. I never did Nax back in Classic. I did it in Wrath. That's when I had my experience with it.
Wrath was a lot easier. But the fights feel almost exactly the same, so it's kind of a little bit boring. It's like, I already farmed the shit out of this.
Yeah. I didn't really remember that too well, but WoW is like the king of reusing content a lot. They reuse the entire raid tiers.
I mean, they reuse the entire game.
Yeah,
literally.
It's true. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on. It means a lot. This is going to be a crazy next week or so. Hopefully by this time next week, we'll have the MogTalk episode. I'm going to be sitting back and I'm just going to be like, well, I'm done. I don't give a fuck. And I'm like drinking something and I'm just, relaxing, and it's going to be a great, great time. But it's interesting to see how this next week plays out. And I want to go ahead and give a moment to have each one of you say your bits and pieces before we sign off and all that great stuff. And so I'll start the same as we started the show with, which is Balana. If you don't mind doing your shout outs and everything.
Yeah, hi, I'm Balana. I've been on the show a couple times before. You can follow me on my Twitter. It's at Balana Raw. It's in the chat right now. It should be coming up soon. Yeah, tune into the live stream on Tuesday. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun. Frosty's done a really bang up job. Everybody who's contributed and helped to set this thing up is really just been knocking it out of the park. So I think we're gonna have a great time. Even if everything goes to crap, we're gonna have a great time. So
yeah, we'll make
show
it
up,
work.
tune in.
Yeah.
Donate to charity as well. We're gonna be doing it for Child's Play. So yeah, it's for a good cause.
Yeah. All right. And then Sfia.
Yeah, shout outs to you, Frosty. Thank you for having us on yet again and organizing all of this. I don't envy you in the slightest with how much you've had to do. But you can reach me. Yeah, you can reach me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Sfia, twitter.com/FFXIV. I don't want to hear from you unless you have gold certificates or commendation from Chloe. So don't bother if you don't have that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And there's something. Oh yeah, you're going straight to sleep after this, aren't you, Sfia?
In a couple of hours, probably.
Okay. Get that raid Prague sleep schedule in.
Feels real good going to bed at 3 p.m.
I can imagine. All right, Oryza.
I just immediately forgot everything I was gonna say. Oh, I remember now. Yeah, I didn't get to answer the last question, and now since no one can respond to me, I'm gonna say that Final Fantasy 13 is the best Final Fantasy game. And yeah, I will not be taking any questions. And this is my Twitter, my Twitch.
I think your numbers are gonna go down. I don't think you should post
Their
that.
fans are out there. So Cleese knows what's up. Cleese knows what's up.
Oh, jeez.
Typical Zoomer take.
Well, I mean, I have a big appreciation for 13 too, so it's all right.
Oh,
We got a
Jesus.
balanced crowd.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, 13-2
I still
is
think
better than
13-2 was
13,
better.
so.
Yeah.
32. I wouldn't know. I didn't finish 13. I couldn't. I stopped at some point. It was right before the world opened up. I was like, it's weird. But anyways.
I
Missing
fell off at
out.
the exact same spot.
Yeah.
Missing out. But yeah, I'm really excited for Tuesday. So, and I'll be streaming our Prague. So
Absolutely.
yeah, you follow me.
Yeah, follow him. Follow him. Make sure you follow him so you can watch the Prague and then make fun of him the entire time about his opinions on Final Fantasy games. The other things I want to say real quick, again, I want to definitely thank Aethernet, Phase Temperance for doing their part to kind of help out and make this happen. We need a lot of people to make it happen, and everyone that's involved is doing this just to make it happen, and it means a lot to me that people have come together to do it. I didn't really expect it to be this crazy. When I originally was talking to Sfia about it and everyone else, I was like, we need a lot of people to make this happen, and it sounded pretty unrealistic, but then somehow it fucking happened. So I really appreciate everybody who came to help us with that. And then I also want to do, there was something else. Oh, so I usually do Patreon videos at the end of the show. Unfortunately, I didn't have time, just to be another result of how crazy everything's are going, so I couldn't do a Patreon video. But I was asked if I show pictures of animals before we end the stream, they'll be happy. So I'm
the Patreon video for this week is a 48-hour stream.
No, you're right. It is a 48-hour stream. Yeah, that's true. But I will show the pictures of animals here. So real quick, here's a picture of my cat sleeping in a corner, covering their face. A little bit cold, just sleepy cat here. Yeah, pretty sweet looking cat. And then I believe I have a puppy picture after this. Yeah, the sleepy puppy in the sweater because it's kind of cold as well. Sleeping on the couch here. So the cat's name is Noct from Noctis in Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, great. Yeah, we don't talk about Final Fantasy opinions here, but I named my cat Noct. Or I didn't name it Noct. My wife named it Noct, but yeah. This is Autumn sleeping on the couch here. And very, very tired. And then we have Scout, who is our oldest pet here, almost 9 years old, at the vet, looking like the dog from Up.
That's a bit. Oh,
Yeah. So
that's some cute pets.
yeah, I think so. I think so too. So there you go, Patreon, and give them name shoutouts. Dudas Antonio, Tag, Nimic, I believe, and I'm trying my best. Hold on, I feel like I'm going to be an asshole if I don't. Why can I think of the last one off the top of my head? Oh, I'm going to bring it up because I'm going to make everybody sit here awkwardly because I'll be an asshole if I don't bring it up. But my mind is so fucking drained right now. It's gone.
Mew something?
Miyu, yes, Super Miyu, who was working on Teamcraft. By the way, there's some stuff that Super Miyu is doing that I want you guys to know about. They're working something on their website that will let you commission for in-game guild commission crafters to do stuff through the website. And it's something that I've been developing for a while. I definitely say you guys should look into that. It's an awesome crafting website. So that's for Super Miyu there. Those are the crazy people who want me to do a Patreon video every week, and they're missing out on it because I am too tired. So there's animals. All right. Thank you, my wife, Kerr, for letting me do this every single week. Thank you, everyone in chat. Thank you very much. Everyone who supported the event. Thank you very much to mods. Everyone who supports everything we do. And I think that's it. I think I'm not there anymore. You guys are absolutely fantastic. And I look forward to seeing you all Tuesday. Remember, it's going to be 1 a.m. Pacific time, right? Pacific time, 1 a.m. We'll have the stream up a little bit early, playing some music. But we're going to do our pre-show, and then for 48 hours, we're going to be providing a broadcast for you that I hope you all enjoy. Have a wonderful week. Next week, we'll be doing the post-World Race, and until next time, be good, keep cool, stay frosty. Bye. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.